Creative Babble.
Insurance isn't one size fits all, and shopping for it shouldn't feel like squeezing into something that just doesn't fit. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they show you options that fit your budget. Enough hunting for discounts, trying to calculate rates, and tinkering with coverages. Maybe you're picking out your very first policy, or maybe you're just looking for something that works better for you and your family. Either way, they make it simple to see your options. No guesswork, no surprises. Ready to see how easy and fun shopping for car insurance can be? Visit Progressive.com and give the Name Your Price tool a try. Take the stress out of shopping and find coverage that fits your life, on your terms. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Most of us dream about winning the lottery, but what happens after the cameras leave? I recently joined Carter Roy on his podcast, Murder, True Crime Stories, to break down the case of Abraham Shakespeare, a lottery winner who became the target of a calculated con that cost him everything. I introduced the case at the top of the episode, and then I'm back at the end for a discussion with Carter about the case that you won't want to miss. I have a preview of the episode for you here right now. To hear the full story, follow Murder, True Crime Stories on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Crime House.
Most of us dream about winning the lottery. We imagine quitting our jobs, paying off our debts, and never even having to worry about money ever again. But we don't think about what happens after the cameras go away and the giant check gets cashed. Because winning the lottery doesn't just change your bank account, it changes the way every single person in your life looks at you. Abraham Shakespeare seemed exactly like the kind of person the lottery was created for. He grew up poor and couldn't read or write. He spent most of his adult life doing odd jobs and just scraping by. Then, in November of 2006, he won $30 million in the Florida Lotto. Overnight, he went from one of the poorest men in Lakeland, Florida, to one of the wealthiest. And he was generous with it. He gave away money to almost anyone who asked. Family, friends, strangers. He paid off mortgages. He covered funeral costs. He bought people cars. But even that level of wealth has its limits. And within 2 years, most of Abe's fortune was gone. Just when it seemed like he was at a dead end, a woman named Dee Dee Moore came into Abe's life, and she promised to help him hold on to whatever was left. Not long after that, he vanished. And the only person who seemed to know where he went was the woman who took everything from him. This is the story of Abe Shakespeare and the lottery curse.
People's lives are like a story. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end, but you don't always know which part you're on. Sometimes the final chapter arrives far too soon, and we don't always get to know the real ending. I'm Carter Roy, and this is Murder, True Crime Stories, a Crime House original powered by Pave Studios. New episodes come out every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Welcome back to another episode of Murder Mystery Fridays, where I'm covering cases with questions that I can't get out of my head. The ones where the evidence points in multiple directions and every theory feels like a possibility. Remember, these episodes are also on YouTube with full video. Just search for Murder True Crime Stories and be sure to like and subscribe. Today, I am joined by a very special guest, Javier Leiva, host of Pretend, an investigative true crime podcast about real people who lie for a living. It's about con artists, scammers, and the victims who get caught in their web. And if you haven't checked it out, I have to tell you, his podcast is amazing and, be warned, very addictive. It is so good, so please check it out. Javier will help introduce the episode, then stick around after for a short discussion. You won't want to miss it.
Oh, thanks so much for having me on the show, Carter. I'd never heard of the story before, but it's a great story because it's a good lesson on what to do when you become a prime target for a con artist. This is a case of Abraham Shakespeare, a man who won $30 million in the Florida lottery and disappeared 3 years later. By the time anyone filled a missing persons report, nearly everything he had was gone. What followed was months of dead ends, a trail of lies, and an investigation that turned up answers nobody wanted to hear. All that and more coming up.
Creative Babble.